Oh, welcome into the 14A Sports Radio Show.
Hey, nice intro, kid.
We almost had a
I don't know.
we almost had an opening. What do you call those? An opening bit from Pabst Blue Ribbon right there. Rod doesn't like that stuff, but we'll have
Not a fan.
Cam was on the table. Everybody, welcome back into the 14A Sports Radio Show every hump day at 8 o'clock here on 15mofe.com. 15 Minutes Fame Radio. How's everybody doing tonight?
We good, dude. We good. We missed you last week.
Better now, yeah.
And by missed you, I mean we didn't really miss you
hardly
that
even
much.
noticed you were gone.
You know, it's funny. I got to catch the final segment there at the restaurant. So I got to see you guys talking shit on me. That's fine.
Yeah. We try to do it as much as possible.
It's documented, though. I mean, we know what we're doing.
It's fine. Guys always do a great job when the beard's not here.
Sometimes a better job.
Nah, I don't know about all that. Now, we're going to have two Beards in the house tonight. Ryan Beard, former baseball player out of St. Peter's Prep. He also went to Point Pleasant High School. Later moved on to Oklahoma State, Rutgers, Brookdale. Had a very good career there in baseball. He actually has his own instructional clinic right now. He can offer to individuals and groups and all that. So we're going to have him on the show tonight.
Maybe he could teach you to throw.
I can't. I blew my arm out. You know how I blew my arm out? Wiffle ball.
Yeah. The lighter the
That'll
ball,
do it,
the more damage it causes.
I remember it was a Memorial Day weekend down at Sioski's house one of these years, and I'm throwing 4 hours of straight heat, curves, all the good stuff. And then I woke up with my pitching arm under me, because Memorial Day weekend.
Right.
You ain't just playing wiffle ball on Memorial Day weekend, so I don't know. Maybe
So that
was it handcuffed under you?
The end of an era? Done, huh?
definitely.
I agree. I throw a football on a beach for 20 minutes, and I can't, my arm is shot. Yeah. But whatever.
We're
We'll
all
have to get
broken
some
down
tips.
at 28, 29.
Now we just golf and do stuff like that. We're not going to talk about that,
We
though.
watch sports and talk.
Well, speaking of baseball, though,
Okay.
how about these MLB playoffs?
Oh, they're tremendous.
Unbelievable. I was saying earlier, maybe my favorite playoffs since the Mets are actually in it, which is a long, long time ago. But the pitching has been absolutely dominant.
So what was that, like
06.
1943?
2006.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you remember the Andy Chavez catch,
Definitely.
which would have went down as one of the best catches in baseball history. It was the best catch in baseball history.
Yeah.
No, the best catch I've ever seen, but would have went down historically as one of the best ever if the Mets won the damn game. But here comes Howman throwing a changeup to Yadier Molina. Peace out.
See ya.
And then Adam Wainwright came to close it, and we all know the infamous Carl Beltran curveball bat on the shoulder, but that's for another day.
I tell you what, around the horn with baseball, I mean, the coverage has been phenomenal. I know you got Michael Kay. He's been doing this for a couple years now, where he's actually doing other games there in the playoffs. He's doing a great job. You got Dan Schulman doing the games
Where's
out there.
Michael Kay doing
ESPN
games?
He was doing the Tigers A's series.
On the radio?
Yeah, ESPN
you
radio.
listen to it on the radio?
Got it every now and again,
Yeah, I like, the NL series, you have Ripken and Ronnie Darling in a booth with Ernie Johnson, which is a little weird.
Yeah.
You always picture him with Barkley, and Kenny the Jet. But Ron Darling, I feel like every time I watch a game with Ron Darling announcing, I learned something about pitching. I think he's tremendous. But these games have been awesome. And actually, the Dodgers just pushed to Game 6. They just tied, or they just won. They beat St. Louis to push a Game 6, so now that series is 3-2. And then last night, I mean, you see the Detroit series, you got Verlander, who was just absolutely dominant, except for one pitch. Mike Napoli, takes him yard, and which I thought was a nice bit of production. Right before Napoli comes to bat, they showed Napoli his first career home run, his first career at bat, his first career home run off Verlander. He takes him yard. Couple pitches later, there goes Napoli, one home run.
Stuff like
over.
that makes me believe sports is fixed. Remember Mike Lieberthal poster night?
yeah?
The guy freaking hits a walk-off.
Oh, yeah.
Well, one of the famous ones with that is in the I forget what year, but Ozzie Smith, right? He was a switch hitter. He's from the left side. The stat comes up on the bottom. Ozzie Smith has not homered from the left side in like 400-plus at-bats.
Yeah.
A pitch later, Ozzie takes it down the right field line for a home run. But
we just had a couple weeks ago in football. Chris Collinsworth talking about Matt Schaub throwing pick sixes every week. Next pass, next play.
Right.
Even,
The late
pick
game.
six to the house.
Joe Buck does it to people a lot, even in football. This kicker hasn't missed in 25.
I love Joe Buck. Everybody hates Joe Buck. Everybody thinks that Joe Buck is against their team.
Yeah.
In Philly, they hate him because they think he hates the Phillies. In New York, they hate him because they think they hate the Giants.
I don't
They
know.
love him in
Or
St.
the
Louis,
Yankees.
though.
I like
Oh,
him. I like him a lot better in baseball than I do football. I think he does a better job in baseball. Buck McCarver's done a nice job with that Red Sox Detroit series. Great call with that Poppy. Sunday night. Ortiz down 5-1.
Yeah.
You know, the Anibal Sanchez goes 6, no hit. They're up 5-0, up 5-1, and now here comes Ortiz. Against Jimmy Lillard goes to his closer. Right, he goes to Benoit. First pitch, to a little off-speed pitch, and here goes Poppy into the bullpen. And you see that picture? You got Torrey Hunter falling over the wall with his legs up and the cop in the background with his arms up. Yeah, awesome. Awesome
what did he
stuff.
say to him? He's like, "You can cheer later. Help me up right now." What an effort, though. My God, I mean, that's a ballsy move.
Absolutely, he overran that a little bit, but he had a play on. He had a beat on that ball. That would have talked about great catches. Oh my God, that would have been unbelievable.
Now, you guys got any special preferences of who you'd like to see here in the World Series?
I don't care.
You don't care?
Nah, I really haven't.
As a Yankee fan?
Well, you like to see Donnie Baseball. I haven't watched any of the playoffs, but yeah, Donnie Baseball, I like to see him win. Definitely don't want to see the Red Sox win, but
So
what
you'd
can you
like
do?
a Dodgers-Tigers?
Yeah, I guess you
Sounds
could go
like-
ahead and say that.
All
then.
right, all
But I
right.
hate the Tigers.
I'll tell you what.
and
I
I picked the Dodgers preseason.
You did.
to
You
win
did.
it.
Yeah, I think
Really?
I did on cyberspace.
I had Tigers-Reds.
You all called me crazy when I picked the Dodgers.
Well, that wasn't because you picked the Dodgers, brother.
Well, yeah, no, their pitching's been phenomenal. At the Dodgers in the middle of the year, Donnie Baseball was a couple games away from getting fired.
Yeah.
They
That's
couple
what
away
they
from
caught
and then,
fire, yeah.
and then they call up Puig, Yasiel Puig, who we'll get into. And there they go. I think they won like 42 out of 50 or some crazy stretch
Yeah.
like that. They were absolutely unbelievable. But I like Don Mattingly. I'm obviously not a Yankee fan, but I like Donnie Baseball. I want to see good, and I'm sick of the Cardinals, man.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of them.
Yeah.
Right?
You're so sick of them. You got to respect them, though. They just keep churning it out, man.
They're the
year
San
after
Antonio
year after
Spurs
year.
of baseball.
Well, like we said last week, I think I don't know if we talked about it on the air or not, but it's all in their farm system. They just got guys. It's so deep.
And
For
they-
the last 15 years, they're always in it.
They're three of their biggest money players are Chris Carpenter, who's out, Rafael Furcal, who should be their shortstop, and Jamie Garcia, who should be in their rotation.
Jaime.
I know. I wasn't going with the Heimlich maneuver. But those are their three of their not the three highest paid players, but three of their highest paid players. Didn't even play all year, and now they have 10, 11 rookies. Unbelievable.
I tell you what, their payroll is actually up there. I mean, they're not like bottom of the barrel.
I know,
like,
but
say,
they
an
have three.
Oakland A's
But they
team,
have three guys with dead money.
Right. I'm just saying, they're
Look
there.
at them. I mean, like La Russa retired, and Matheny comes in and takes over, does a great job. Pujols leaves, they don't miss a beat. It's crazy.
And even Alan Craig, who is without a doubt top 10, maybe top 5 MVP in the National League this year, maybe not top 10. He's out the whole postseason. They sub that dude Adams in. They're not hitting much, but no one's really hitting much. But not missing a beat. And actually, with the hitting, this is the lowest batting average for teams up this deep in a championship series ever. It's the lowest ERA and lowest batting average. But it's been phenomenal.
Yeah, there hasn't been much offense at all here in this postseason. It might not be appealing to the viewer, but as a true baseball fan, you got to appreciate it. I love seeing a good pitching performance. I think
when
it's
you're
all right.
hanging on every pitch, then as the game gets later and later, it's intense, man. Playoff baseball is great to watch.
Now let me ask you something. Football is still on here. Are you watching the football game or are you watching the baseball game?
I'm honestly,
because this has been a big predicament here so far.
Not really. For me, we all have remotes these days, right? and DVR. No,
I still get
seriously.
up and hit the
So, yeah. So I made a stick that reaches my TV that I poke. No, seriously. Here's my setup, right? So when I have the baseball game, I have both games recording. Right, I record them both games simultaneously, but I'm predominantly on baseball. During baseball commercials, I'll flick over to football. If I missed, any scoring plays or anything, I'll just rewind it, see what happened, and then fast forward back, and then over to the baseball. But I'm predominantly watching a baseball pitch by pitch, because as you said, Rich, these 1-0 games, all it takes is one Napoli home run to win a game.
Right, you turn away for a second, you come back, you're like,
yeah,
shit,
but,
missed the whole game in one pitch.
Yeah, they've been unbelievable. Actually, they had this argument on Mike and Mike this morning, where Greenberg was saying that. He's been loving it. The pitching matchups, how pitching oriented the playoffs have been, and people came in saying we want more offense. Like this pitching stuff is boring, which I was surprised at also. But I think when you live and die one pitch at a time, where it's not 9-8, where you get a 3-run lead and you're expecting, all right, well, I'm going to get a couple big boppers, I'm going to get a couple big home runs, we'll tie this game up easily. When it's 2-1, 3-2, every run is so critical and so important. But it's been great.
Well, I think it like to the casual fan. The casual fan always wants to see offense over defense. That's just the way that it's going to be. But the purists or just the old school people of the game. I mean,
well, you love it.
They can definitely appreciate it
because we watch baseball our whole life. So you're gonna talk about the bullpen, how the manager's using the bullpen, and what the matchups that they're playing. Playing small ball, all that comes into play.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I mean, these defensive plays that they're making here in cold October. Not necessarily in LA, but 3 of the 4 cities right now are pretty cold cities here in this time. So. A lot of
it's a little warmer.
These defensive plays aren't exactly that easy to make.
Yeah,
especially for us.
I want to go back. I don't think it's an old school baseball purist thing. I'd be perfectly fine with offense.
Well, you're not an old school baseball purist.
Yeah, but so I'm enjoying the playoffs though. That's my point. I don't think you have to be an old school guy.
I didn't let him finish. I thought he was.
You don't have to be an old school guy in order to appreciate the series. I'd be fine either way with it, but. The way it's gone, I think it's been unbelievable.
Yeah.
And you're right. The trend, even with football, right now, they let the quarterback throw for 1 million yards. You can't touch receivers. Everyone wants to see points. But honestly, when I go to a baseball game, I want offense.
Yeah.
I want offense. But in the playoffs, when it comes down to it, when every game is, there's 162 games.
Yeah.
If you have the game on in the background at a barbecue during the summer. You want to turn around and see that, you want to hear the announcer say, and you want to, look at that home run or whatever. But, when you live in pitch by pitch, in a 2-1 game, I don't think there's anything better, really.
Yeah, definitely. So, I know we wanted to touch on Yasiel Puig a little bit. The other night he hits the triple, flips the bat, gets into third base, does this Herculean chant there over at third base. Now, a lot of people, they've been very critical of Puig thus far, for all the emotion that he brings to the game. I think it's kind of ridiculous, we need a little fresh blood in the game. I know Bryce Harper, when he first got in, and he was doing all his machismo, whatever the hell, people looked at him like, oh, you're kind of showing these people up. I think baseball needs a little more emotion, Agree?
Absolutely. It's interesting when they have the World Baseball Classic every 4 years, and they play in the Latin countries, and you see the stands rocking and rolling, go bananas, and they say, oh, look at all the passion that these people have for the game, right?
When you bring it here,
and then you come here, and it's like, oh, well, you're not allowed to do that. Yeah. The one problem I had with Puig on that play, the triple, he obviously thought it was going out,
right?
But Run, bro. You can't celebrate before mid-play.
He wasn't going to get an inside
That's
the park home run, though.
That's neither here nor there. That's not the point. You can't say he doesn't know that. You can't celebrate 3 steps out of the batter's box. That's not acceptable. However, when he gets to third base, bro, he had struck out his last 6 or 7 times. He was 0 for 11. He hadn't gotten a hit. The dude was pumped.
Yeah, I think his last hit was when he got on base for Juan Uribe against the Braves Then he got the home run, the go-ahead.
No,
so.
I mean, I got no problem with that. The only problem I have is run out of the box. But once you get there, we were talking, Reyes used to be very theatrical with all that stuff. Mm-hmm. No problem. Jabba used to come off the mound after a big strikeout.
Griffey, Sosa. I mean, the greats. Some of the greats have done it and made a career out of it.
Yeah, the Cuban-born players, as you were alluding to earlier. I think that's. That's just who they are.
Part of their baseball
Absolutely.
culture. Yeah.
So, people come over here, they see that, and it's, they shouldn't take that thought process to it. You gotta. This is the playoffs. People they should. White people are going ape shit here in the baseball playoffs, and they don't say anything about them.
Well, here's the other thing with baseball. Baseball has become a regionalized sport for the most part, where people are only watching if their team's in it. Yasiel Puig is the one guy in baseball that, you're turning your TV to go see his at bat.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else in baseball? Maybe A-Rod when he came back from suspension, people were turning to see, but that was only because of the circus.
Gonna hit him?
Are you kidding me? You didn't take a day off of work so you could watch Shane Victorino have an at bat?
No. Absolutely not.
He did.
Plenty of time.
But Puig is like an attraction. And he's one of the few in baseball right now, and I think that should be, celebrated and promoted
right, yeah.
instead of, and I understand, baseball. You know what's going to happen if the baseball players don't like it, the opposing teams, they're going to start drilling them, and he's going to get the message, and he's either going to fight or stop, or so they'll police themselves out of it. But I have no problem with it personally. Actually, I enjoy it. Honestly.
Yeah, somebody will hit him eventually.
Yeah.
Well, Lance Lynn went high and tight on him last night.
Yeah.
And then Puig singled up the middle, and the Dodgers put a couple of runs together. Obviously, the Cardinals were able to win. But did you see that pitch? Lance Lynn went high and tight on him. And,
the problem with doing it right now is, you face consequences then.
Oh, you can't do it now.
Right,
Now's not the time. Playoff baseball. You can't
do it in March or April.
Even when you're
Tell
talking
that
about
to Roger Clemens.
a 2-1 game, you can't be putting runners on. Well, Roger, that's
That's another barrier.
Touche, my friend.
Oh man. So we were talking about the whole thing with Ortiz. With just another magical night in Red Sox postseason history.
All right. Not
Now,
really.
which the start of that day. Let's get to the NFL right now. Tom Brady had that incredible. I shouldn't just say Tom Brady, but Patriots had that incredible comeback against New Orleans Saints.
Unicorns and show ponies.
Unicorns and
Where's
show
the
ponies. So New England was dominating that game all first half. The New Orleans comes out second half. No Marquez Colston love, but whatever.
No, how about Jimmy Graham?
Yeah.
Jimmy Graham
Well, he's gonna be out next week. It looks like having a little
they have
foot
a bye,
procedure.
but so
The whole team will
team's
be out
gonna
next week. I forgot about that. Sorry. But yeah, just an absolutely great game there by the New England Patriots.
The Saints had
Danny Amendola takes a shot there.
Oh, he got his bell
my
rung, huh?
God. Come on, Danny, stay on the field.
A couple
brother.
big hits.
He can
I
stay on the field.
watching the Jets game early. Stephen Hill took a shot. I thought he had a couple broken ribs after that, right on the sideline there.
that.
Oh, he got whacked. And then he couldn't get up. I was like, he doesn't like he it looked like it was hard for him to breathe. I was like, he might have cracked ribs right there. He got whacked.
I tell you the problem with me this weekend watching football. I was over at Oates House, so I was just stuck on the Green Bay game. I'm trying to watch the red zone over there on the computer, trying to flip between that and the fantasy points and all that stuff. Sorry, babe. I might just not be able to do Sundays at your house anymore.
Not your element, huh?
Not at the Cheesehead Factory, huh?
My God, I couldn't get it done, man. Listen, when NFL's on, you need multiple televisions going on.
No, I told you, I found this great app on Fios, and it's like you could pick the teams that you want to be alerted on or the players, and it pops up right on your screen for you.
DirecTV,
God, it's
they're the ones that made that popular. But
every score. It's good for a gambling, man.
Well, I went a different route. I went out and remember the 1 o'clock games, and then the 4 o'clock games.
Not so much.
They got a little foggy, and I didn't see a single play of that late
the Dallas game, huh?
when that fog rolled around the downtown Jersey City area.
I guess so. Yeah.
Hey,
I can't tell you.
Speaking of the downtown Jersey City area, well, this has nothing to do with downtown, but Jersey City in general, they did a survey recently, and guess who won number one burger in all of Jersey City?
Well, they didn't do a survey. It was 3 different places they did. The Jersey Journal ran it, and
Well, I'll conduct my own survey right now. Park Tavern has the best burger in Jersey City, so congratulations to them.
I heard of a celebrity sighting in downtown Jersey City this weekend too. Some guy runs on the pier down there, right? Exchange Play. Were you running on the pier like Saturday, and some crazy chicks yelling at you or something during a walk?
What?
Some chick said she seen you and was yelling at you, and you looked at her like she was fucking nuts. Just kept running down the pier.
Yeah. So, in the morning? Yeah.
You get that all the time, probably.
Yeah.
It's you!
Which crazy chick?
It's you!
Why? Who was it?
Margaret and her sister. Big fans of the show.
I don't know.
Yeah, shout out to them.
All right, well, did they I don't care.
He's so flustered. Right? He doesn't know what to do with himself.
What was the interaction?
He hates when he can't remember when he's sober.
What was the interaction?
He said like she.
I read a lot that
something. And
they had like
a
suicide
something.
Yeah. Oh, someone with suicide. I saw the banner. I was like, I gotta get out of here.
They had that guy Mumbles make their T-shirts.
Oh,
from the Apple.
Oh, right. You were saying, yeah. No, they're nice. Good-looking T-shirts. Nice.
Good Lord, this segment took a turn for the worse.
Yeah.
All right.
You caught me completely off guard with that. You really
sure did. And me, and everyone. Now the whole crowd's flustered. All right, let's get into a video break right now. And when we get back, I guess we'll do a little NFL talk. We're still waiting on Ryan Beard here, so we'll do a little recap of Week 6, maybe a little preview of Week 7. Lachi filling in for HD tonight on the producer board. So we'll get to a video right now. We are 14A Sports on 15 Minutes Fame Radio. We'll be right back with the NFL.
15 minutes of fame. Let's go.
Welcome back into the 14A Sports Radio Show.
Pow, 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 pow.
All right, well, we just received some unfortunate news. Ryan Beard will not be able to join us this evening. We'll probably have him on in a week or two. We'll figure all that out. But in the meantime, let's bring up some NFL news now. Hot rumor going around. We got the trade deadline coming up here in about 2 weeks.
Halloween, I think it is, right?
Yeah,
Right.
Week 8, right?
So the hot rumor around the area, at least anyway, Hakeem Nicks could be on the move. I've been saying all season I don't think that they should re-sign him for next season. You got, Victor Cruz, Ruben Randall's proven that he's been, that he's worthy of at least a 2 or 3 spot on the receiver depth chart. But as a Giants fan, Matt, would you like to part ways? Whatever.
Who's that? Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, come on, man. I'm on a roll now for once. But now, would you like to see maybe a draft pick come back for Knicks, or have you had it with them?
Here, not that I had it with Knicks. So here's my take on it as a Giant fan. Obviously, you weren't going into this season expecting at all to be in the position that we're in. But as we've seen, the Giants are lacking. They're lacking overall team depth, specifically along the offensive line. They have no pass rushers. They have no impact linebackers at all. Their safeties went down. Stevie Brown went down early. Mundy's been hurt. They have no depth. They're lacking team depth. Their last couple drafts have been weak. Now, what in the NFL with the hard cap, you only have a certain amount of resources to allocate. Obviously, they just signed Cruz to the big deal in the offseason. So, taking all this into consideration, I think if you can get a third-round pick for Knicks, I would absolutely consider it. I think it's we got a phone call.
Look at this. Take it. Oh, welcome into the 14A Sports Radio Show. Caller, who is this?
Yeah, can I speak on this radio show?
Absolutely. Who's this?
This is Dr. Lou.
Dr. Lou, what's going on? You're on live with the 14A Sports Show. What's on your mind?
What's
All
up,
right.
Doc?
What's up, Doc?
Let's go. Howard Stern. Baba Booey.
Baba booey.
All right.
All right.
Thanks,
That was
Doc.
it? Did you hang up on him?
No, he dropped
Oh, he
it.
just hung up?
Yeah.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
well, thank you, Lou.
All right.
I
That
was gone to the
entertaining.
same medical school.
You know
I'm
what?
also a doctor.
You can't. I want to get into that medical school.
What a mongo, as Francesca would call them when they call them up to get pranked.
Hello, caller.
what a-
No, you're
what a
wrong.
mongo.
You know, people could just call in and they think they have the power to do everything.
All right, getting back on Knicks though. So the Giants lack overall team depth. The only problem with trading Knicks right now, it sends a wrong message to the team. But as you said, Walsh, they're probably not going to sign him in the offseason anyway. He's going to, Mike Williams just commanded, got $10, $11, $12 million per year. The Giants are not in a cap position.
Oh, not
to
my
do
Mikey
that.
Williams.
I'm sorry, Mike Wallace.
all right.
Mike
I was
Wallace.
going to say,
Yeah.
what the hell? When the hell they give him
he
that
just got
kind
a
of
big
money?
deal. Knicks has proven when he's healthy, he's an elite receiver, but he hasn't had a huge year this year at all. He had one nice game against Philly, but
Who hasn't?
are those injuries taking a toll? A lot of lower body injuries. Has he lost his explosiveness? Maybe. Well, we're not really sure at this point. I don't think it sends a great message, but you know what? You have Ruben Randall. Have Ruben Randall step in. See what you got there. He's going to be a prominent player next year. And you more importantly, you take that pick, and you have to start building some depth for the Giants. You have to have some quality players, because in the NFL, people get hurt. You have to have people be able to fill in and be competent at those positions. So I think the Giants, this is a lost season. I understand that the organization doesn't like to think that way or work that way, and I appreciate that as a Giant fan. But you got to be realistic. They're 0-6. You know, they're not going anywhere. I would deal, and he hasn't played well. The team hasn't played well. I would deal.
Well, who are
I
your
would deal
suitors
Knicks.
at this point? Are there any suitors that
Well, I've heard, you know, just rumors. The Giants are not actively shopping them right now, but I've heard the Saints are interested. New England possibly interested.
Detroit was the most
Detroit.
interesting, and they said that's probably the most likely landing spot for him too.
So if you can grab a 3, personally, I you know, because the likelihood of signing him is not high.
Yeah, you got to get something back for him. I mean,
Get
you
something
see
back,
it, yeah.
and you don't see that much in the NFL
But
because you know usually the trade deadline in the NFL is early, right? By week 8, you know, not many teams are out of it.
Right.
You know, with
used to be
assets
earlier,
like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but I would absolutely trade him. I would if you can get a 3rd round. See, like if you get a deal for a 5th or 6th, then that
That's
might not be
horrible,
worth
yeah.
it.
No,
That's not worth it. But if you're gonna get a 3.
Even a 4.
yeah, he's worth. I
I
believe
would-
he's worth a second even.
You're not gonna
you
get
take,
one.
all right, but you take a look at like let's say last season when Vonta Davis got traded away from the Miami Dolphins
At the start of the year, though, different.
Right, it's fine. But listen, Nix is still a productive receiver. And let's be honest about this Giants team. You need to retool his roster, as you were kind of alluding to earlier.
I didn't kinda. That's exactly
you
what I
need,
said.
You need to get younger. You need to get younger. But
Absolutely.
Look, if they get the picks back, right, it's what you do with the picks also. You said, you know, they've
100%.
had weak drafts, so what's Jerry Reese going to do? You eventually got to start drafting good players. I mean,
Right,
that
but
starts up top. You know?
You're 100% agree, but you're not going to acquire
Yeah,
a pick
right,
to think
yeah.
that you're going to draft a bad
Yeah.
player. You know what I mean?
Right.
A 3rd round pick should be a starter somewhere on your roster. He should start a 3rd round pick. You know, he's not. You're not expecting an elite player at that round. Obviously,
Well, you can get
ton
damn good
have come.
linebackers. You know,
Absolutely, you get a but you're expecting a starter, and the Giants have to get younger, more athletic. And also, they need more cap flexibility. The Giants are right up against the cap. In the preseason, I want them to sign Vonta Leach, the fullback.
yeah,
They didn't have enough money. They couldn't offer him
Sign a
enough,
fullback.
and he went back. He went back to Baltimore. So you know when you have that kind of big quarterback that commands so much of the cap, it's tough to maneuver around the cap to fill out the roster. So they can't. That was with Revis. I think it's a fairly not exactly, but I didn't think that the Jets could allocate so much money to one position in the cornerback
Absolutely.
position. Same way with the Giants. You can't allocate too many resources to one position, especially when Ruben Randall is the heir apparent there, right? He's proven he's
Right.
at the very least a competent NFL receiver, if not potentially an elite.
Well, let's go to the Jets for a second. That's the best move that this franchise has made recently because
Oh,
you look at it.
absolutely.
Listen, the Jets were a number 9 defense without Revis last year. So you take that away. I mean, yeah, they loaded up more on defense, but look, they got D. Milner in that position. You get younger there. You got Sheldon Richardson, who's been an absolute man so far in the NFL right now. Giants got to do something like this. But at the same time, I do think that they can get more than a 3rd round pick. Dangle him to Detroit because, listen, Calvin Johnson, a little banged up, okay? And if you don't have Calvin Johnson, we saw what happened against Green Bay. They were ridiculously horrible in that game. So, Hakeem Nicks, he's a guy that, you know, Calvin Johnson commands 2, sometimes
At
3
all
defenders
times,
at all
yeah.
times. So Hakeem Nicks is a guy that can win a lot of one-on-one battles. And, you know, Victor Cruz, he's good, but doesn't necessarily require all that attention.
take
You know
a
what I mean?
step-
Well, not this year. I think you're wrong. Victor Cruz has shown his ability. If you watch the Giant games, Victor Cruz has absolutely shown his ability to separate one-on-one from his defenders, has been able to split doubles. Hakeem Nicks, if you watch, I think those injuries are catching up to him. He hasn't won the one-on-one matchups. He's uncharacteristically dropped a lot of passes. Does he have the physical stature over Cruz? 100%. But the other thing with the negotiations, of course, you want to get as much as you can for him. We're not privy to negotiations, but should they trade him?
Well, you know
I
what's
think so.
interesting? Say Detroit, right? Take a step back and look at that Detroit offense. Then, if they get him, right, like you said, it's crazy because you got Johnson and him on the outside, Reggie Bush running the ball, catching balls out of the backfield. That offense becomes insane. So if you're New Orleans and you hear they're going to trade at 3, you know, you might go ahead and step up and drop the 2 on them. But the Pats, you said also in the talks, Belichick's famous over his career coming in and stealing these guys for 4th, 5th, 6th.
Belichick's not trading at 3. No shot in the world.
That's what I mean. He got Randy Moss for a 6th though. At
7.
A freaking
7.
7.
But-
and Richard Seymour. Right?
But I'll be honest with you, as I watch the Giants every week, I think you guys are giving Hakeem Nicks credit for the Hakeem Nicks name and not for his play this year.
Well, that's
He
fine,
hasn't-
but how do
he
you,
hasn't been
how
very
do
good
you
this
get
year.
excited about an 0-6 season? I understand that part of this is kind of his fault, but at the same time, you start out 0-1, 0-2, 0-3.
Wait. You're saying how does it keep Knicks get excited for the season?
Yeah. Right now?
Because you're
right
an
now at
NFL
this
player.
point?
That's your
Hang on,
job
wait
to
a
do the
second.
job.
I'm not hitting Team Knicks. Don't yell at me
Well
like I'm not
played.
getting
No, but-
excited.
no,
I get up every Sunday and watch the damn
No,
games.
but that's
I'm excited.
but that's a ridiculous statement that you're not going to get excited to play because you're 0-6. Dude, the
Come
dude's
on,
a
dude.
free agent. Your career, your resume is
Okay.
on. Dude, your
Okay.
resume is on tape. Whether you're 0-16 or 16-0, your resume is on tape for the next year. If you're not cutting,
I
it,
understand,
you
but
wouldn't
do you
get
think
paid,
he
dude.
understands that? He probably doesn't
He's not
understand
gonna-
that. Most of the
he
guys on
knows.
this Giants team are listen. You don't see the effort. Like
You're a
you look
believer.
at
You're
you look
wrong.
at them against
That's
Kansas
not
City.
true.
You look at them against
Look at the
Carolina.
Chicago
You're trying
game.
to tell me that the effort was there.
the Chicago game, they were right in the game. Eli Manning threw 3 picks. Will you tell me the effort wasn't there? That's bananas.
It's a
They're making
Thursday
mistakes.
night game. It's a Thursday night game.
What does that
So
mean?
what? A lot of these games are close. Everybody's on a short week. But
How about the
All right,
Eagle
but
game?
that's
That was
their
on
game.
Sunday.
Hakeem Nicks played great in that game.
So, they were 0-4 at that point.
Fine.
So what's your
Fine.
He
point?
gets up and plays.
That
was
that
against
makes
the
no sense.
Eagles. That was against the Eagles.
So what's your point?
The Eagles have a horrible defense.
So he
That-
only,
and
he
that
only
was
gets
winning
up
that
to
game.
play against horrible defenses?
I guess so.
No, he's just
my
not that
God,
good. He's just not an elite
Fucking
receiver.
hamster's really falling off the wheel up there.
Bro,
What I'm
you
saying-
got too much
what
flavor.
no,
You're
what-
a huge believer in contract years. I know that.
Right.
And so why wouldn't he? He has something to play for every freaking
He
game
might.
that he goes out.
Oh,
there.
and
He
6.
does this
0 and 6
millions
takes a
of
little
dollars
bit out
is
of
the
you.
difference.
Takes a little bit out of you.
Disagree completely. As a fan, it does. But as the guys on the field, he's playing for a contract next year. He's playing for his NFL career. Why would that take anything out of him? You think Eli Manning is intentionally throwing picks?
you see these
no,
guys-
he's just
I'm not
playing
saying they're
badly.
intentional.
You see these
Intentionally
guys, they're
doing it.
down 30 and then they score a touchdown and they dance because they're happy, they're excited, they're in the game, man.
Ridiculous. Knicks just does not need to be a Giant anymore. They need to trade him.
That point, all right, I'll go with you on that point. But to say that he's not getting excited for the games because they're 0-6, that doesn't make any sense.
Kind of does.
And if you saw the
0-6.
if you saw the Bears game, I don't know what being on Thursday night has anything to do with it. The
In his brain, it makes sense.
The
Short
Giants,
turnaround,
the
short
Giants are at
turnaround.
midfield to win that. They're in a position to win the game,
Right.
right? So they
Okay.
definitely played hard. That's why I'm all about keeping Coughlin. I don't think Coughlin has lost the
Oh,
team at
no,
all.
no. I'm all about keeping Tom.
Yeah, but if you're saying that the guys aren't playing hard, then that's a reflection of the coach.
it's more or less
Listen,
the team as a whole. And I
Just
understand,
because-
and I understand what you're saying.
Just because
Like-
your coach
like-
lost the team.
Yeah, oh my God. That's a team. Now that's a team that has absolutely lost it. They are a freight train off the rails right now. But what I'm saying is, when you start losing all these games, you start losing some confidence, and just other things start coming after that.
Okay, losing confidence, I could get down with, but
Listen,
not
you
playing
know,
hard.
You know how it is when it's in the middle of a heated discussion, things just start flying out. You know.
It's a Thursday night game.
Right.
Hump day.
You just say things that don't make any
Thursday's
sense.
not hump day.
I'm talking about today.
Oh,
Jesus, Mary and
we
Joseph.
gotta
Yeah,
take
you
a
had a-
commercial, get that
This
hamster
train,
back on the
Wait,
wheel.
Hump
this
Day,
train-
hold
this
on.
train just went.
Hump Day. You played around the golf today. It's not like you busted your ass.
Walking, carrying my own bag.
Shooting 112.
Yeah, it's like carrying a little small child around with you
Getting
for 5
reprimanded
hours.
for smoking butts on a golf course.
Don't even get me started.
I had a very productive day today.
Did you?
Nobody cares. Let's move on. All right, so let's look ahead to this week's game. We got Minnesota on Monday night. Okay, Josh Freeman gonna make his first start here for the Minnesota Vikings.
That was the first win for the Giants.
Does he not have MRSA?
No Mercer.
No, it's an Adderall addiction.
No. Well, we're talking about down in Tampa.
Oh,
They have
yeah.
a spread of MRSA.
Jonathan
Yeah.
Banks
Carl
was the
Nicks.
last one. Oh
Carl
my God,
Nicks.
Carl Nicks.
Carl Nicks,
for
he
the
never-
second time.
He never missed a game in his NFL, his 4 years when he was with the Saints. Tampa signed him. He hasn't been able to stay on the
I
field.
know.
What's MRSA? A staph infection?
Yeah,
It's legit. Like you can lose limbs.
I had it one time down in Florida. I had it in my arm. I had a mild case.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, and they put staff, not MRSA. They put my arm in a sling, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, get this sling off of me!" And they're like, "No, you need it."
Should have been a straitjacket.
Oh God, I don't know. Anyway,
That's-
I don't
that's-
need a straight
That's
jacket.
what
You
we
need
need
a
on this
straight
show.
jacket.
We got to get a straight jacket.
Ooh, loser of the week has to wear a straight jacket for the show. Something to think about to the hierarchy. All right, so let's get to the Monday night game here. How about this? Something interesting with Minnesota. everybody's making all this to do with Adrian Peterson. Like, oh my God, he lost a kid. He just met his kid for like the first time.
And had
like
to
that
be
month.
DNA tested to make sure
Yeah.
it was. his
Listen,
kid.
I mean, listen, he's no saint. That's all I'm saying here.
I don't feel that comfortable talking about this, honestly. That regardless of Adrian Peterson's involvement,
Right.
it's a horrific
Definitely,
crime.
Yeah.
definitely.
And whatever his involvement with that kid, whatever, whatever, it is what it is. But that, a horrific crime, and I don't think we
Yeah,
need
it's
to
miserable.
elaborate
Yeah,
on
none
his,
of us have kids.
on his-
I had a point where I was going. Basically, just the game against Carolina, everybody was like, "Oh my God, is he gonna play? Is he gonna play? Like, how could he play? Like, how could he not play?" It's just it's a situation that I think got a little over magnified. Aside, just within
It's still
AJ
his
Peterson,
kid, though. Like we don't
understand.
have kids.
I don't think that's
Not
a
yet.
position. I don't think that's what we need to talk about.
Okay. Way to kill my intro, but all right. So
Well, it
we,
turned into an exit.
yeah, we think the Giants coming away with a victory here in this one.
Well, according to you, it's a Monday night game, so they're on a long week. So who the hell knows, right?
Right.
No effort.
Thursday
No, actually-
Thursday night game all the way to Monday. Lots of rest. Gotta look at it.
You're the best traveling secretary ever. Yeah. No, I think
you.
I think the Giants are gonna, that Viking team, obviously starting Freeman, Shiano ran him out of town. Yeah, I like the
Boy,
Giants this
did
week.
he.
I do. I don't know, but who knows? You know what?
What's the
What's
line on
it's
that?
it's 3. The Giants are laying 3 points at home.
Three.
So that's
I'd like
the
to see
standard
what the
home.
over/under is on this. I'm interested.
I think it was like
46.
46.
Well,
I
the
would take
Giants,
it over.
half.
the Giants
3.5.
just signed Madden folk hero cover boy Peyton Hillis.
Sure did.
So they have
Everyone loves a white
Hillis,
running
Rick
back.
Jacobs.
Random
in the
Jacobs,
backfield?
Hillis, and John Connor in the backfield.
Jeez.
About 250 plus
Somebody
on
should be
average.
able to pick up the blitz, huh?
Yeah, right. But you know what? In all honesty, on a week-to-week basis, I don't want to see the Giants lose. I'm obviously going to root for them, but for the franchise as a whole, they're better off just losing.
Yeah,
The more they lose, the
absolutely.
better off they are. In all honesty, the higher pick you get, and not even for the first round, but then day 2 you're sitting there, the second round on the top of the draft.
top.
You could trade back and make moves, acquire more picks, as we were saying. The Giants need, they have a ton of holes.
Well, you would love
they
to
need
get
to fill roster spots.
Clowney with an early pick, right?
I'm saying, all right, you want to talk draft? So you
Let's
probably
talk draft.
Okay,
Let's
I'll talk draft.
So honestly, Walsh's Bucks are going to be at the top of the draft. The Jaguars are going to be at the top of the draft.
hey.
Quarterbacks.
They're going to both go quarterbacks.
They gotta.
You would
Definitely.
think you got Teddy Bridgewater, you got Marcus Mariota, Brett Hundley from UCLA.
Deep at this
You got Taj
quarterback.
Boyd.
Johnny.
I
missing
can't
someone.
wait for this
Johnny
draft.
Football.
I can't
Yeah,
wait for this
I'm
draft.
missing another
I'm
quarterback.
fired
There's
up
another
already.
quarterback
Yeah.
involved. That's Hundley. All right, so you got 5 maybe legitimate first-round picks. So
A lot of teams are going quarterback. Yeah.
Tampa and the Jaguars are both going to go quarterback. So
Even
the
if
Giants,
Minnesota
if they're
was ahead
sitting
of
there
you.
at 3, 4, 5, either you're going Clowney on the pass rush, or I would love to see a Jake Matthews, the A&M left tackle.
Yeah.
He played
Oh,
right tackle. Jokel was at the left tackle last year. Matthews slid over. Obviously has the tremendous NFL bloodlines. Bruce
genes.
Matthews, Clay Matthews, his cousin.
Oh, yeah.
So either offensive or defensive line, a stud on either end obviously would be huge for the Giants. But when you pick at the top of that second round, look at like Drew Brees was selected at the top of the
Yeah.
there's a lot
They
of
got
talent.
Tomlinson came back and got Breeze that year. Jeez.
Or look
That
how
was the Vic trade.
how 2 years ago how we actually jumped ahead of you guys,
Took Doug
and
Martin.
you can make that trade and jump up to the end of the first round too. So in that draft, the Buccaneers get Mark Barron and they get Doug Martin in that draft. So you can definitely have those scenarios. Right now, we're shaping up to have a very interesting draft season come up here. Sitting here
Would
at
be a lot of-
2-3 right now.
A lot of intrigue at the draft party.
Oh
no
my
doubt
God,
about it.
that'll be fun. That'll be very fun.
Yeah, let's keep tanking to make our draft party better.
That's something interesting.
That was
'cause
a hell of a party, though.
I was just rooting last week, just any Bucks game. I want them to win this game. I feel like that's a win that could have given them some momentum at 0-4. Maybe I don't know, win out, but maybe 10-6 best case scenario for the Buccaneers. But they lose this game. Now I'm hoping they tank. Now
They just
I'm hoping.
find ways to
and-
lose games at the end.
And
though.
one of the
They're in
things,
it.
I know. And then
For years now.
one of the things that me and you talk about a lot, Teddy Bridgewater. I don't think that he's the number one quarterback, but I have a feeling that as this college football season goes along, he's not going to be the number one quarterback. And my worst case scenario is that other people learn this too, and that we end up with Teddy Bridgewater. And I'm gonna hate shit. I'm gonna hate everything.
So who do you want at the top of the draft?
I want Taj Boyd, or more recently, I want Mariota out of Oregon. I'm loving this guy. He is incredible, man. Do you see him against Washington on Saturday?
He's an incredible athlete. Those Oregon quarterbacks, with the Chip Kelly offenses, they've been historically good putting up points in college. But they haven't been productive passers. No, but they haven't. Even in college, they weren't productive passers. They weren't, accurate, efficient passers in the pocket. Now, Mariota combines that skill level of being able to scramble outside the pocket, and now he can make the throws. I'm still a huge fan of Teddy Bridgewater. He showed up. He missed a couple throws. That Rutgers game, he missed 2 wide open guys. They should have had 2 touchdowns. That Rutgers defense hung tough. Gary Nova was brutal. Nobody wants him on the
Bridgewater,
team.
he's good, but the argument is strength schedule with him. Is he playing?
But that has nothing to do with his NFL capabilities.
Right.
I think it has a little.
Absolutely not. Look at Heisman Trophy winners.
Right, and they go on.
That has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
I mean, Ben Roethlisberger played at the Miami of Ohio. Eli Manning played on a terrible.
When you're used to playing, who the hell have they even played this year?
Nobody.
Louisville.
Yeah.
All right, so you're used to playing that, and then you Mariota, you're playing teams like Stanford, UCLA, good teams out there like that. You're used to seeing good competition. I feel like Teddy Bridgewater, he sees a lot better competition.
That does not matter.
He's going to be on a crappy team like Jacksonville if that's who it's going to be.
That doesn't matter.
I don't think that's going to help him.
That doesn't matter.
It really doesn't, because look, right, with Leonard and Vince Young and
Steve McNair, who won NFL MVPs, played at 1AA.
Right.
He played at Alcorn State.
Tony Romo
that
played
does
at
not
Eastern
matter.
Illinois. I mean, that year
It doesn't.
That year you had Leonard, Young, and Cutler played at
Okay, but here's the
right?
thing. All right, here's the different thing. USC, they played behind
Matt Leonard. Yeah, he was great.
But listen, they played behind tremendous lines, so he would never see pressure. And then you get to the NFL, and then he sees nothing but pressure, and he can't
It's too
work
fast
like that.
for him.
Yeah.
But that's individual
And that's
contingent.
kind of the same thing. He's playing shitty teams, and he's not seeing top pressure week in, week out. So when he finally does start seeing pressure, again, a team like Rutgers, they gave him a lot of trouble, and they're not even a top team.
That doesn't. It's in the NFL. That's like saying no one
I told you this was an argument.
Yeah.
Good, we need arguments.
There's a kid out of BYU, right? Who's BYU play? He's going to be a tremendous outside linebacker. It's all about skill set in the NFL. That's what it comes down to. If it doesn't matter who you play as a quarterback, if you can read the defense and make the throws accurately, you can play in the league. It doesn't matter what big college you went to. It doesn't matter what college you went to. And Louisville is a big college. Okay, how about this, Teddy Bridgewater in the Sugar Bowl last year?
Okay.
What team did he play?
Florida.
And
A very good team. What
did he do?
He had a good game.
He shredded them.
He had a good game.
He shredded them.
Okay, I'm still not ready to anoint this king like Simba on top of the hill. I'm not ready to do it.
Jamarcus Russell, SEC quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Fucking going to be great when he comes to the pros. What do you do?
He was on the Raiders. They suck. That's all they do is draft sucks. They draft sucks.
Matt Leonard, your USC team.
They draft suck people.
Any USC quarterback.
Right.
Not good.
And no.
Different argument.
So your argument
All right,
is if you don't play good teams in college, you can't be a good NFL quarterback?
The Pac-12, or the Pac-10, back when it was nowhere near as good as it is now. They were stomping teams out.
In your mind, so Johnny Manziel would be your number one pick?
No, definitely not.
Why not? He plays the best competition and is doing the best against the best competition.
He's still not the number one pick. His body type, his
Exactly.
size, and all.
Are you
But
checking
Teddy
him out?
Bridgewater isn't big at all. He's like another RG3. Very frail.
No, he's not. He doesn't even run. He doesn't move the pocket.
Oh my God. He's like
This
like
is really
another
turned into a
body
shit show.
type. Not that big.
Whoa.
Mobile.
He's not mobile.
Said he's not that big.
He doesn't run at all.
Teddy?
No.
Teddy can run.
Now
No,
you're
he
on
doesn't.
first name?
He can run.
He doesn't. He sits in a pocket.
He can run.
He doesn't.
He can.
I'll write you too.
Yeah, I've had it.
Your arguments don't make any sense.
Yes, they do.
They haven't for the 20 years
They
you've known
make
them, okay?
perfect sense.
You can't. So your argument is if you don't play top level
All right,
college
hold on,
competition, then you can't be a good NFL.
Obviously,
Where?
they're not. They don't make sense for every single case, but there's certain cases that they do.
So you get to pick and
Except
choose
for
which
everyone
Yes,
that
yes,
brought
you're
up.
damn right I do.
Phil Simms was terrible in the NFL.
Horrendous. It's time for the Coles News Network. I'm sweating. I'm sweating so bad. All right, let's take it to a
all
video
worked
break
up
right
for
now. We're 14
That got heated.
15 minutes.
And I like
of
it.
radio. We'll be right back. We need more. We agree way too much.
Not anymore.
15 minutes